Beautiful. So, Eliza,
yes, my friend.
my new adventure now is I'm doing a web series about different topics about life and development. Mm-hmm. And in this chapter, we're talking about happiness.
Happiness.
What is happiness for Eliza?
Happiness for me is nature. And
Is what?
nature.
Nature.
To be in nature. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we were talking about this morning because we took a beautiful, beautiful walk this morning, and I had a moment where I felt this kind of intense joy that makes you feel almost hysterical. Just looking around at how beautiful the day was, and the trees, and the sky, and the water. We were looking at water and the light reflecting off the water. I get tremendous joy from nature.
You guys went to the open lanes, remember that
We
day?
went to a different place, we'll take you there, to the Topstone Park. And we had the dog, and it was very beautiful. And then probably also then family brings me great joy. And remembering what my good fortune is.
Which is?
I heard a story recently on the radio, and it was by John Updike. It was one of his early stories. And one of the things he said in this story was, the things we possess are devalued by the things we covet. Which I think is a great statement, because sometimes we're so busy thinking about what we want that we forget to look at what we have. So remembering to see all that I have makes me very happy.
So, what is it again? The things that
The things we possess are
are
devalued by the things we covet. So by coveting other things, we take some of the value out of the beautiful, wonderful things that we have. Some of which are not material things, but spiritual things and relationship-based things. So that's where I find my happiness.
Beautiful. Thank you, Eliza. Now, what advice can you give people to be more happy?
But happiness is so personal.
It is personal.
Although, going back to how I started, I would say, well, a couple of things. One is go outside. Go out into nature and breathe. And something else is, no matter how you feel, you are always capable of doing something for someone else. So sometimes the best way to find your own happiness is to be able to give happiness to somebody else.
Good. Thank you, Eliza.
Happy Thanksgiving!
Okay, happy Thanksgiving to you.
Oh, Tom Turkey!
Yeah, there were like other issues.
Well, at this point, people can go in two directions. There's one class of people who will say, all right, let's live the uncalculated life. Let's not make any plans. And before you know where they are, they're living in a filthy pad and scrounging around and living on petty thievery and so on. This is the usual thing. This is got into it the wrong way. The first thing to do is, just as I said, whether you like it or not and whether you know it or not, the relationship between you and the environment is always one that is harmonious. So in the same way, you are always living the uncalculated life. And you have to find out, first of all, that you're always doing it. And that what you call your calculations, and the things you did, were funny little rationalizations. In other words, your ego has about as much control over what goes on as a child sitting next to its father in a car with a plastic steering wheel that is turning the car the way Daddy drives it. Because, as I pointed out, most of the functions, most of the goings-on in you, around you, the circumstances of life, have nothing to do with your ego at all. And you don't even know why you make up your mind to do certain things. We know superficially, we have a few ideas. It's like when you enter into a marriage. You have really no control over its outcome, in the ordinary sense of ego control. You've taken a colossal gamble in which you've involved enormous complexes of patterns